All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Friday afternoon. Another lunchtime edition of the KnicksFanTV and Bleacher Report simulcast presented by Cash App. Sign up for Cash App today using our promo code KnicksFanTV. And if you send a friend $5, Cash App will send you $10 back. Easy way to gain and earn money. On today's show, we got a little bit of an update on the Knicks coaching search. We'll talk about where things stand right now with the Orange and Blue and their search for a new general. Plus, the Knicks have made an interesting Summer League edition. We will talk about their new rookie edition as well. And worst take, we got another fresh round of worst take sound bites to react to. Stephen A. Smith wrong again about the Knicks, and Melo Shump cook as it relates to the Knicks offseason and what they need to go forward. So lock in, hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. We are live, Joel King. Salute to the franchise channel members. Salute to the replay gang, wherever you guys are. All right, man. Salute to the family, everybody watching on YouTube, Facebook, Bleacher Report, CP the franchise in the building. Hot out here in New York, and I'm sure wherever you guys are on the East Coast. You know, it was so funny. Last week we were talking about the torrential downpours and the rain, the gloomy weather. Well, in New York, we've kind of skipped spring, skipped the gradual steps of summer, and headed right towards a heat wave. So we got high 80s, low 90s, and even 100 coming up within the next couple of days. So that's how that New York weather can be, man. Sometimes you just get right to it. And hey, in the New York Minute, that's how it goes, man. Let me see my franchise channel members in the building. Salute to you guys. Lopez 104, I see you do things. What's good? Flizzy Flex, Chris, my 2 cents, always in here. Marcos, welcome. Flizzy Flex, John Solitude 45, finally catching alive. Well, John, welcome, man. Salute to my guy STG Nick, Mr. Duns, Eddie Suarez, Jay Thompson, Daniel Beausejour. Salute to you guys. Will Latimer, always in here, never misses a show, man. You can count on Will to be in here. Okay, let's get into it. Knicks coaching update. You know, over the last couple of weeks, it was revealed that the Knicks were trying to get permission to talk to coaches who are under contract with existing teams. And one thing our guy Ian Begley did mention was that, hey, yes, they are interested in talking to these guys, but on another hand, this could be more of a leverage play for these coaches to get another bag from their teams. And we're seeing it again. Last week, it was Billy Donovan getting a contract extension from the Chicago Bulls. And just yesterday, it was announced that Ime Udoka gets a contract extension from the Houston Rockets. So those are two coaches down that the Knicks had reported interest in. But as is usually the case when the Knicks have mentioned, more of a leverage play by these guys, their team, to get a bigger bag. And so congratulations to those guys on getting the bag. But where does it leave one Jason Kidd? Where does it leave Jason Kidd? Because multiple reports are saying that the Knicks are not out of it with the Kidd sweepstakes. There's still interest there. So this was from Mark Stein on the Dallas Mavericks podcast on Jason Kidd, the Mavericks, the Knicks, and where things stand. Let's take a listen and react to it. Call me up in the KFTV Discord. Let me know what you think. Here we go.
I would think so. I think it should, because the Knicks did, as you said, the Knicks ultimately requested permission to speak to 5 coaches who are under contract, and they were rejected in all 5 cases. It was Ime Udoka, it was Chris Finch, it was Quinn Snyder in Atlanta, it was Billy Donovan in Chicago, and it was Jason Kidd in Dallas. But I believe, and based on my reporting and what's been out, I'll just say it like this. There are many people in coaching circles who believe that Jason Kidd was at the top of their list. And I know he just got an extension last year because the Mavericks feared that the Lakers were going to come after him. So after the Clippers series, Patrick Dumont did give Jason Kidd a 2-year extension, but this is the way the NBA works. The Knicks wanted him. I think the Knicks, to some degree, still want him. And look, the Mavericks did what they were supposed to do. They said no, they have Jason Kidd under contract. But to me, he has to get an extension. I don't think there's any question. Will it happen? When it happens, we'll have to see. But that's my view of it. I mean, you guys tell me what you see.
I mean, I see a coach, I see a team that is on a stated 3-year window, and I see a team where the GM and the best player, and in all likelihood, very soon, the other best player in Kyrie Irving will probably, our best guess right now is that he will probably be signed to a 3-year extension. And I see a head coach that's not on that timeline. So if Nico Harrison, if the Dallas Mavericks believe that Jason Kidd is the right coach to run out, to coach the team in this 3-year window, a 3-year window that they have all pointed to, said, referenced, acknowledged is the window that they're operating under, for the head coach's contract not to align with everybody else's, would make me think that there is not necessarily 100% belief that Jason Kidd, is as critical and as important to this 3-year window as the rest of the pieces are. So that's my read of the situation, and I guess the news of whether he does get extended or not will dictate what that means.
Yeah. All right, so that was Mark Stein, NBA insider, very tapped in on the Dallas scene, does cover the Dallas Mavericks, not necessarily exclusively because he covers the NBA, but he does concentrate on the Mavericks when it comes to NBA teams. So he thinks Jason Kidd is number one on the Knicks' radar. Contract extension, could they be? This other gentleman, I'm not familiar with the host's name. My apologies. He's not clear. Does Jason Kidd fit the window? They're going to get Cooper Flagg. You have Kyrie going to be recovering from the ACL surgery. Where does the Anthony Davis fall into this? So I think this thing could still be fluid. And until we hear whether or not Jason Kidd gets an extension with the Dallas Mavericks, I guess, and until the Knicks actually make a decision on the coach, I think you could kind of leave that possibility open that they're still waiting to see what happens there with Kidd and to see if he can get it, if he can get to New York. So time will tell there. Now, as we also know, Mike Brown and Taylor Jenkins interviewed for the job this week. I was told that right now, if they had to choose between the two, Taylor Jenkins is getting the edge over Mike Brown, but more interviews are happening into next week. Now, keep in mind, the draft is June 25th. So, what the Knicks do have the 50th pick in the draft, are they going to have a coach in place to pick? And is it even going to matter? Are they going to keep the pick? Do they have the coach in place to make the pick? Time will tell. Well, from what I was told, the Jenkins interview went well. Right now, he's got the edge over Brown. And more interviews coming next week. So could it be Kidd? Could it be Jenkins? We'll just have to wait and see, man. You guys hit me up in the KFTV Discord. Let me know what you think. Speaking of draft, while we don't know if the Knicks will even be making a pick in the second round of the draft, they technically do get to evaluate a draft pick, a recent draft pick, as it was announced that James Naji, 6'11" center, who was acquired by the Knicks as part of the Karl Anthony Towns trade, formerly of FC Barcelona, is leaving Barcelona, headed to New York, is already here, and looking to make it in the NBA. So, according to his agent, he's already here with the Knicks. He's already working out with the Knicks, and he will be headed to Las Vegas for NBA Summer League. He did compete in Summer League last summer or the summer before that with the Charlotte Hornets. And so, here's an intriguing center, 6'11", a nice little shot blocker. As we see by the highlights, looks like he's got a little bit of touch around the rim, a little rim runner. So, let's see. I'll be interested to see what he's got at the next level. I know you guys, we got Hawk Porter, we got this. Hey, All options on the table. We need to be evaluating everybody and see how well they perform. So will be added to the Summer League roster. Let's see what he can do. James Naji, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys think? Are you intrigued? Are you bored? Do you care? What do we think, man? James Naji, expected to play in the NBA Summer League. Last season with Girona on loan from Barcelona. So he went to another team last season. Averaged 5.3 points, 4.1 rebounds in the Spanish league. Okay? So there's the intel there on James Naji. And very interesting comment here from our guy Yossi Goslin, our cap guru. Says this could be significant for the Knicks because they could sign James Naji to the rookie minimum, which is $1 million less than the veteran minimum, since he's a former second-round pick that they have rights to. They'd have more room to use the $5.7 million tax mid-level exception under the second apron. So this could be a little bit of Brock working the calculator. Leon and Walt Perrin and those guys want to get a young prospect in, evaluate him, and see maybe, hey, does he crack the training camp roster? Does he get a two-way deal? Will he accept a two-way deal? And do we have some flexibility with our roster? So that's the situation now with James Naji. What do you guys think in the chat? Worth a look, right, Lopez? Worth a look. Lawrence Henderson on the Facebook side, I see you. How you feeling? Joel Denmom says that he thinks that Mitch will be traded for wing depth. Look, certainly possible. I don't know anything one way or the other in terms of Mitch. I hope not. You guys know that I am a Mitch guy. But anything is possible. As his team looks to retool the rotation and the bench, all options should be on the table. Jay Thompson says, could be solid. Would have to see how he plays before I get too interested. Yeah, let's see how he fares in Summer League. Shane Mack, I'm with you as well. Salute to my guy, Shane Mack. Who's on top of the leaderboard right now, the fans? This is a new feature on YouTube. Based on everybody chatting in the chat room, who's on the leaderboard? Of course, my 2 cents leading the way with 75 XP. Shout out to Omar Shalaby, KG7 Full, Eddie Suarez, and Ralph Hernandez rounding out the top 5. Son from Brooklyn, I see you in here. All right, so that's the coaching update. That is the roster update, if you will, on Summer League. Hey, if we hear anything else, you guys know where to come to. The number one show for the fans, by the fans. Where's everybody checking in from, man? It's lunchtime grind hour here on the East Coast of New York. Salute to my friends from across the pond. Wherever you guys are checking in from, throw your cities, throw your countries in the chat. So I could shout you guys out, man. All right. Also, at the end of the show, we'll do a giveaway today, man. We're giving away a Worst Take t-shirt since we will be doing our Worst Take segment coming up. So we'll do a Worst Take t-shirt. As you see there, the front says Worst Take, and the back, for the fans, by the fans. All right, so this is going to go to one lucky fan at the end of today's show. So make sure that you guys stay all the way to the end. DJ Tiggs, I see you, man. Shout out to Elijah up in Syracuse. Billy R., South Amboy, New Jersey. Salute to Billy. Wake Forest, Mario, how you feeling? Maryland, Rick D. Carl Poughkeepsie. Brazil, M1 Pro. Salute, man. We got New York City repping straight in a row. And franchise channel members. Flizzy Flex, Patrice 2020, Father Peace. Shout out to you guys. KG7 Full and Carl Acevedo. So 5 people straight repping NYC. Armand Dutta, of course, across the bay. Yup. Shout out to Jessel Cash checking in from the Bahamas. I had a great time in the Bahamas, man. Last December, I went down to the Bahamas, me and the lady, man, for her birthday. Had a great time down there. Hospitality's on 100. Had some good home cooking, too. We had to dip off the resort. You know, the resort stuff is cool, but, like, you got to dip into the roots. You got to get into the neighborhood, man. And we got some real good fish, and, yeah, man. Had a great time down there in the Bahamas. BK to Nyack. Okay, salute to you. All right. Let's get into Worst Take, shall we? All right, let me load this up here. And away we go. So as you guys know, this next segment is called Worst Take, where we play sound bites around the NBA media sphere related to the New York Knicks. I react to it, you react to it with your ratings. 1 being trash, all the way up to 5 being facts. Is it tomatoes? Is it fire? You guys be the judge. It's your show. So coming up first, we have our guy Screamin' A, a.k.a. Stephen A. Smith, who wants to chime in on the Knicks' pursuit or lack thereof in Kevin Durant. Right now, we have no idea where KD's going to go. It was reported here at KnicksFanTV that the Knicks have no interest in trading for Kevin Durant. Now here's Stephen A. Smith on why. You guys let me know what you think here. Here we go.
You're right if that's all there was. But when you take into account the history that involves Kevin Durant and how James Dolan was led to believe that KD and Kyrie were on their way to the Garden, and they elected to go to Brooklyn, and then KD piggybacks off of that when asked about it in the months to follow and calls the Knicks corny and how they're not the happening place. This is during the days of Steve Mills and cats like that. The point is, what I'm saying is that residue is where you hear no interest and you're saying, well, this can't be just about basketball. This has to be about you feeling a bit salty if you're James Dolan, and that's where that kind of statement emanates from. So if that never happens, and it's just some report that comes out there, I'm with you 1,000%, Jay. I look at it in a vacuum. I see it for what it is. I understand that those exact words may not have been what they articulated, et cetera, and I move forward. The problem is that this is James Dolan we're talking about, and we know how petty he can be, and we know what KD and Kyrie was supposed to do, or really KD was supposed to do, and what ended up not happening. And we know how salty the Knicks were about that even before Leon Rose arrived. And because of that residue, you're looking at the New York Knicks now and you're saying, are you really making the best business decisions, especially when they just fired Thibodeau, but you don't even have a coach in place? It's like a round robin. You asking the Atlanta Hawks for permission to talk to Quinn Snyder, for crying out loud. I mean, that's what the hell is going on with the New York Knicks right now. They've literally gone from being 2 games within the NBA Finals to returning to somewhat of a basketball purgatory from the standpoint of us looking at them and saying this type of nonsense is reminiscent of what used to happen before Leon Rose and World Wide West arrived. That's what's alarming right now, and that's where this KD comment falls into play.
Okay. What do we think here? I'm making catch-up out of Stephen A. Smith. This is getting a 1. Is it a good business decision for the Knicks to pass on a trade for Kevin Durant? Absolutely. This is not about Kevin Durant that is a 25 points per game scorer, a clutch player, an NBA Hall of Famer, All-Star, All-NBA. You could run down a list of accomplishments, and maybe he can still even get that in another year. Maybe he's still got another year left at peak. Is it a good business decision? Absolutely. He's 37 years old, Stephen A. Smith. 37. He will be 37 by the time the new season starts. You then have to pay him at the end of the season, after the season. That would be same old Knicks to trade for an over-the-hill superstar who is getting injured. By the way, played 62 games this past season with ton of mileage on him. And then you're going to invest more money in him? That would be same old Knicks. This has nothing to do with James Dolan being petty. See, what the media wants to do is every time the Knicks come into the news, they want to find a way to make James Dolan the piñata for why they think the Knicks are making mistakes here. But anybody with smarts knows that it's a good move to pass on a Kevin Durant trade, and that's what they did. And as I told you guys here on this show, the talk that they made an offer for him at the trade deadline, my sources tell me it's complete cap. And it made no sense to begin with. He made $47 million this past season. What do you think he's going to want on his next deal? So let's knock it off with the because, it's pettiness because of what they did with the Nets. No, what they did with the Nets was history. They made their decision. The whole thing exploded as we knew it would, and they deal with that. The ship has sailed on a Kevin Durant play. Trading Karl Anthony Towns for him, in the near term, would it work? Player-wise, it'd be interesting. But I could give you 100 reasons why it'd be a terrible move. You're losing rebounds. Towns much younger. Already under contract. The whole KD thing is going to blow up on the Knicks. And if it's not Karl Anthony Towns, who reportedly the Suns wouldn't even want in a trade, then what are you really trading? It's a combination of Bridges and Hart and OG and Mitch. Now you're talking about depleting your depth for a 37-year-old Kevin Durant who's going to get injured and then want to get paid. Bad business all the way around. On top of the fact that if you look at what the rumored deals are for Kevin Durant right now, it is a combination of players and picks. Picks that the Knicks don't even have. Yeah, one report of a rumored deal by the Toronto Raptors that involved RJ Quickly, Jakob Poeltl, and the number 9 pick. Who knows how real it is, but if that's the case, you're not even coming anywhere near that. For Phoenix, they need that. They need the draft capital because they blew it all between going to get KD and Bradley. They blew it all. They need to recoup draft picks. Supposedly he doesn't want to go to Minnesota, but Minnesota's rumored deal involved Rudy Gobert, Rob Dillingham, young player pick, maybe even Ragu. So let's be smart, man. And this is the problem with Stephen A. and media in general nowadays. Because now, in this media climate that we're in, anybody could just fly off the rails. Anybody of influence can just fly off the rails without consideration of facts, nuance, logic. Just fly off the rails. So let's slow it down. It's a terrible take. What do you guys think? You let me know. Omar Shalaby says, KD, no thanks. Alvino Ray, 79, franchise channel member, $5 super chat says, if we want to trade Cat, NYK, Dylan Brooks, Reed Shepard, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, and Witt, Suns get Cat, McCullers, Payne, KD, Beauchamp, and Watson. Rockets get KD, Beauchamp, and Watson. Yeah. Well, as the reports say, they don't want Cat anyway. So he's about to be 37, man. What are these guys talking about? Then when they go out there and make these type of trades, what do you hear in the offseason after the whole thing torpedoes? Oh, this is same old Knicks. This is Dolan star chasing, and this was a bad move. And you know what's so funny? Last thing on this. You know what's so funny about the whole Dolan pettiness thing? Look at all the guys that are working for the Knicks right now. Did anybody remember, my old heads, does anybody remember how Latrell Sprewell left the Knicks? And he came back to the Garden that one game as a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves? Do I need to describe to you what he did to James Dolan that night? 20-some-odd years later, he's out here on the payroll. Community service. Starberry's back with the organization. And I think one day Charles Oakley will be back. I think those fences will be mended. So let the whole pettiness thing, I don't see it. So that's that on Stephen A. Smith. Now, let's get to this next one on Worst Take. It's our guys from 7 p.m. into Brooklyn. I thought Melo and Shump really went in on this episode. I really enjoyed this episode. So we're going to take our time with this one. And I got a couple of sound bites that I want to react to here on this show because I thought this one was really good. So let's get to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. This is Melo and Shump on the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau. This is first up. Melo and Shump. Here we go.
Man, I've been dying to hear both of y'all thoughts on this because we haven't even spoke. I don't even think I texted you about Tibbs since it happened. I've just been waiting to get to this point right here. Do you think the Knicks overreacted?
No.
By firing Tom Thibodeau after one of the best seasons in franchise history?
No.
And is a coach like y'all former teammate, Jason Kidd, the right replacement?
To answer the first question, no. And I say that meaning everybody else think that just happened overnight. That ain't just happened overnight. That's been the part of the conversation behind the scenes going on.
That time during the regular season.
And you're analyzing, really scouting Tibbs.
The 0-10 record on against top teams.
Whatever it
all
is,
that
he was
stuff.
under a microscope for a period of time, so it didn't just happen.
Okay.
Now you start talking about Tibbs, and let's big Tibbs up for a minute.
Of course.
Tibbs is an unbelievable coach, one of the greatest basketball minds that this game has ever seen when it comes to strategy, X's and O's, the way he studies the game, the way he coaches the game. Right? Let's get that out the way. It's like a peak, right? Because what adjustments are you going to make from here on out? You're going to get us here, but what adjustments are you willing to make? What adjustments are you going to make to get it over the hump, to get us over the hump, right? Your bench is a major issue, but everybody knows that. It ain't like this just happened.
All right, so let's pause that right there before he gets into the bench part. I agree with Melo. You know, a lot of people felt like the Tibbs ouster was just like a knee-jerk thing. No. This had kind of been building up over time. We talked about this a couple times on the show. A few years into his tenure with the Knicks, there was some rumblings about the team not being unhappy about Tibbs. During the season, there were some rumblings, and then into the playoffs, there were some rumblings. You know, the Muel Bridges situation, complaining about the minutes, not using the bench, the flare-up with Josh Hart, the constant miscommunications between this team, especially on the defensive end. OG and Cat getting into it in the playoffs. There was a clear divide with this team, and it was clear that they were no longer buying into his message. And Melo, as a player, as a superstar, as a Hall of Famer, he saw it. He knows it. He's seen coaches come and go. So who else but Melo to opine on this? Now, they went in. Him and Shump went in. So here's the next part with Melo on the Knicks autopsy. Here we go.
To get it over the hump, to get us over the hump, right? Your bench is a major issue, but everybody knows that. It ain't like this just happened. His bench has always been a major issue. He don't only play 6, 7 guys. He's a loyal guy. He's playing with who he's loyal to. The deeper you go on the run, the more loyal that he's getting to his folks.
Yep.
Let's be frank. The Knicks need a bench.
Yeah, I agree.
The Knicks need a bench, bro.
Well,
What do we think about that? The Knicks need a bench. He's right. He's right. Look, there was a big opinion this playoffs when they got ousted. When Tibbs ultimately expanded the bench, he sat down Payne, he went to Shamet, he went to Wright, and they had some bright spots. I was a big advocate for Wright before the playoffs even started, and Shamet. I said, these two guys got to start. You need Shamet's shooting potential. You need Wright's ability to defend. that led a lot of people say, oh, we had a bench the whole time. We had a bench the whole time. Yes and no. Yes, those guys were capable. Those guys provided a lift. But you still need more. Two things can be true at the same time. You still need more. They need more. And that needs to be an emphasis in the offseason. Yes, those guys contributed. Deuce off the bench. But even Deuce had some moments where it's like, we need more punch. We need more firepower. We need defensive versatility. Is that Pacome Dadier next year? Is that another wing next year? Yes, certain guys contributed. But I still think they need a bit more off the bench. And I was having this conversation with one of my guys, and they were like, man, you're going so hard on campaign. You're going so hard on campaign. He's a vet minimum contract. What are you expecting? My response was this. We got to look at it like this. Especially if the Knicks don't use that taxpayer mid-level exception this year. The entire bench is damn near vet min contracts and rookie scale deals. Regardless of who you get and who they bring in, you're going to have to perform. You have no choice. This isn't like you got, your top 8 are good salary plays, and then you have like the back 5 are rookie scale deals and vet mins that may or may not play that many minutes. No, you're going to need to be relying on guys to play big rotation minutes. The 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th guy. And those could all be vet minimum guys or rookie scale guys. So the expectation has to be up there. That's why Cam had to sit. You got to sit down. Yeah, Deuce is great for the money. I get it. But this team's trying to win a championship, guys. Right? We're trying to win a championship. So even though your salary's low, you still have to outperform that. We're trying to get a ring. So that's my take on it. What do you guys think? The bench situation. Okay, this was another good segment here. Let's hear it. Here we go.
I'll make the argument that he went to the bench too soon.
Bro, I'm not saying that he don't have guys on the bench that can play.
Yeah.
Should guys play more? Yes, cool. But when you're trying to win, champ, it's a fine line. It's a fine line of adjustments that you have to make. And he just don't make those adjustments when it comes to what's the adjustments that you need to make. Right? He went with Cat and Mitchell Robinson at the 4-5, which was really, really good. Really, really good. But they don't work together. As far as they not working outside the court, outside the games on like what this could be between us and sit down and understand that, yo, Mitch, when I come here, go. They not. I doubt if they doing that.
On top of that, you talk about
can see that
Tibbs being under a microscope all season. Since Mitch came back, they had all season to see how the Cat and Mitch lineups work that we never saw it during the regular season until like they had to go there.
You go back to what? What you loyal to. And I'm loyal to my system and what I do and the style that I play. Mitch and Cat is a hell of a 4-5 on anybody's team. You just got to put them in position. So the reason why people saying Cat don't go to the basket enough or he's not attacking the rim is because he's going from half court to the rim. He's dribbling from the top of the key. That's a long run for a nigga who's 7 foot with a size, whatever shoe he wear. No, I'm not. Come on, you laughing at shit. I'm just saying it's a lot of work for you to get from the top of the key to the rim. Without you being bumped, without you taking major steps, it's a lot of work. So I'm not saying to cut that out. I'm saying add on to your shit.
Right.
You know you can shoot the tray, one of the greatest three-point shooting big men that this game has ever seen.
Yep.
Right? We know when you really want to, you can get down on the post and get to it. But
That's
you gotta
what tweaks me out.
You got to be consistent with wanting to be down there and get to it.
That's the one thing that tweaks me out.
That right there. I mean, Melo, he said a lot there. Number one, with the Cat and Mitch dynamic, he's absolutely right. They played well together. We should have seen more of that. Why didn't we see more of the Cat-Mitch tandem even when Mitch was being brought back on the minutes restriction, again, I don't know. Was that Tibbs trying to hold some cards for the playoffs? That was a little bit awkward and a little bit confusing to me because, again, why aren't you trying to utilize your best front court defender with your star front court big man from the offensive standpoint and make sure that they gain that chemistry? Their net rating together in the regular season was a 9.2. That was in 47 minutes played together. In the playoffs, that was a 4.4 with 165 minutes played together. I thought we should have saw more of that. But what Melo is also talking about here is for Cat, the challenge for Cat to think the game. Can he do that? That, to me, is what separates good NBA players to all-stars to superstars to God mode. How do you think the game? Are you getting in that gym with JB, with Mitch, and figuring out how to take advantage with the talent that you have? I thought Melo was absolutely on point there. And the point that he made about Cat taking off from the top of the key, that is the most cringe-worthy aspect of his game to me. I cringe every time he does it because, number one, I'm afraid that he's going to hit the deck because once he does, now you're playing 5-on-4 on the defensive side. And like Melo said, you're putting a lot of pressure. This is part of the reason why a lot of people say the Knicks offense, it's always a grind. It's always difficult to score. And it also, to me, underscores the Knicks' need for a two-guard or more athleticism to get to the basket. I said this from the beginning when they put this team together. They have a struggle with that starting five, and it's not going to get any better even when you add Deuce in there because he doesn't have the separation skills. They've got to be able to get lucky to find a two-guard that can attack the basket, break down the opponent, attack the basket, and either play make or draw contact. There was too much. It was too hard for the Knicks sometimes in the half court if they're not hitting their jumpers. And that's why Towns had to be the guy to put the ball on the floor from the top of the key. So that was a little bit difficult, but well said by Melo. Absolutely well said. Okay, here's some more. 7 p.m. to Brooklyn. Here we go.
Hot water doing this.
I was about to say,
when
so-
I said this on ESPN,
Why am I in hot water?
when I said this, the Knicks fans crucified me. I
What?
was a hater.
That I want my two best players in the pick and roll at the end of the game?
All right. So
Why?
So that goes to the question.
Why?
Was it a Tibbs overreaction? At what point does it stop being about Tibbs and be about like, yo, your star players got to go above that
Nah,
and
it
know?
wasn't.
I mean, maybe
I
Tibbs
think
should have told
I
them
think
during
we
the-
all overreacted because we lost, nigga. Like, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we lost. It ain't, Indiana came in and did what they supposed to do.
Yeah.
We did what we supposed to do in Boston, and we were supposed to take care of that in Indiana, but we didn't. I think we got tired. I think we got worn
First
down
game.
mentally.
Yeah.
I think the Tibbs shit was lingering in the background.
Okay. I can see that.
You can see the disconnect from the niggas on the team, on the benches.
So
and
that argument on the
you
bench,
see all
too?
type of shit.
There was
Like,
some things-
I ain't
there
even
was
talking about the
some
shit
things.
that the media is pointing. I'm talking about shit that I see watching the game from my own point of
Damn,
view.
boy, you got a special set. I ain't seen none of that shit.
It's a lot of shit.
I saw a bunch of niggas trying to beat them.
Man,
They was trying to beat Eddie.
These, so
I don't know, you got
but these
superpowers.
conversations
Yeah.
is not just happening overnight. Now all of a sudden, Cat and this person not getting it. This been happening.
He the new Woj, man.
You know, I'm just saying.
He
I
the new
watched the
Woj,
game.
man. Melo the new Woj.
He's a different
dog.
Woj, man.
He
Like,
ain't
it's
new
just-
one.
and I don't know none of this.
Stay
This
mellow,
is just
man.
my observation on what I see that could be an accumulation of things that led up to us being
No, for sure.
mentally fatigued. I think
Right.
we were mentally and emotionally fatigued.
So that was Melo on the postseason autopsy. I feel it, man. especially after that game one loss to the Pacers. I didn't see how they were gonna rebound from that. That was hard. That was hard, man. Leaving the Garden that night, we couldn't believe it. And then the game 2 situation, losing game 2 the way that they did, that was brutal, man. But again, he talked about the need for more chemistry and thinking of the game between Brunson and Towns. That has to be at the top of the next coach's priority list next year. There was not enough impact felt from a 2-man game between those two guys. I refuse to believe that they can't gel offensively together. They're going to have to show that. They should be dominating those mismatches, man. And Melo talks about it. We're going to get to it. They should be dominating those mismatches. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. We in worst take segment of the show. We breaking it down. 7 p.m. to Brooklyn. Let me know your thoughts, man. The 1,000 people on the check-in. Salute to everybody in the chat. We here, we cooking. I thought this was an excellent show. Okay, let's get to my next timestamp. I broke this whole damn thing down, man. I annotated this whole thing. All right, here we go. Let's get to the next point. Here we go.
Say based off of what I see with my own eyes.
I didn't think that. I just didn't think the man coached a bad ball club. Like that was they was good.
But we lost to a good team.
I think that exactly, and I think Jaylen Brunson's evolution happens from this loss.
So what's his evolution?
His evolution is realizing that he's a point guard. Realizing that you don't just get to be Andy on Toy Story, nigga. Like that's what a point guard is. You're Andy on Toy Story. What does this toy do?
Bro, we can't ask that man to change.
What is this?
Like,
No. It's not about that. It don't take nothing but 4-5 assists a game to activate these niggas and make them feel like they part of some shit.
Understand?
It ain't nothing to pitch ahead, run through on the weak side, let a nigga just touch it, look at the rim, feel like he aggressive, even if he giving it back to you, and then you attacking a closeout. Like it got to be less dribbles. And understand why you giving that motherfucker up. I ain't giving this bitch up because I don't want it. I'm definitely getting this bitch back. You feel me? But I'm not finna be wrestling with this nigga and doing
the whole game.
Yeah,
all
not
season,
the whole game, bro. No, because we need you.
Yeah.
We need you postseason. We need you at the end of the game. Now it's gonna be exhaust the dribble, beat it, beat it. Michael Jackson, nigga, red jacket, beat it for real. Send a nigga home. That's now we need it.
Yeah.
But it's like, shorty, the whole game, you gotta have. Bridges sometimes he get lost.
Yeah,
he get lost. You gotta grab him by the jersey, shorty.
I agree.
I gotta feed you. I need you to get up. Come here, hand off. Come here,
you're making great points. You're making great points.
I thought Shump had a great point there. Great point there on Cap. And a point that I've always wondered how he handles that ever since he came here and emerged on the scene. I always talk about, for those of you that watch the show, the balance. How does Cap balance being the scorer that this team desperately needs and the playmaker to make this team better? And mind you, they were running some good offense through Cat earlier in the regular season. When they had it spaced and Cat's at the top of the key, or he's in the pinch post and they had the wings cut into the basket, they were running some good offense there in the half court through Cat. Next coach, we need to emphasize that a lot more. The one thing you could say when Julius was here was that you had two players with him and Brunson top 10 in double teams drawn. And when Julius was thinking a game, it wouldn't be that often, but when he was thinking a game, he could play make very well. And that was making the team better. So Shump is on the money. How does Cat balance making the team better as a playmaker and getting into the scoring bad? Because like he said, in crunch time, that's your time. It's go time. But prior to that, do you go to McCall first? Do you go to OG first? Let them get involved in the offense and then get it back to you off ball when the shot clock is draining. You get into your bag and you make a play. Finest in the chat, his points come too hard. That's where we need more of a two-man game between Cat and Brunson, and that's where the next coach has to figure out how do you utilize Brunson to get the rest of the team involved and in a rhythm, all while understanding that he's still your go-to guy. That's the point that Shump was making. I thought that was an excellent point by Iman Shumpert. Okay, keep going. Here we go.
You gonna be that
But what
though
are we
next year?
asking?
You
what if-
asking the same
what-
thing
no,
every
what
champion
if
had to go through.
No, what if we're at,
And see, what another thing that Shump is saying here, remind you, he's got a ring with arguably one of the smartest players to ever played a game in LeBron James. So he understands, because LeBron is that guy that got Shump and JR together when they left the Knicks and put them in positions to succeed. What Shump wants to see the Knicks do is learning from this adversity, learning from these losses and coming together, getting smarter and building more chemistry.
asking too much?
Then get a point guard in there.
No, I'm not Brunson. Too much from somebody like a Muel Bridges. And hear me out. Muel Bridges is, to me, really good at a lot of different things, right? I think his mid-range, he has a really, really good mid-range game. You know what I mean? Like elite mid-range game, I would give him that in the game today, right? He plays a different type of way. He's not a give it go. He's not that. So you got to put him in certain situations, in certain offense, certain sets that a lot of times there's not any sets for Muel Bridges other than the double pin down coming weak side, come off and getting middle and one dribble pull up. I don't think that we can put Muel in those situations to run offenses through.
No.
I don't. What I'm saying
that's the
is
evolution
we
of
know
Jaylen.
that.
That's the evolution of Jaylen.
But I'm trying to get the understanding from the fan and the people who watching this
right.
is expecting somebody like Muel Bridges to do
ascend
these
to something, yeah.
right, to be this certain
they
type
see
of
the
player,
picks,
this certain
they see the
style of
money,
player,
and they're like, you gotta do X, Y, Z.
But it's
But
because
it's like
of
he's
the
getting
number
paid.
that you're getting.
We really need to pay him to be just that.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly what he is.
Yes.
Don't graduate.
Yes.
Don't ever graduate. Stay in school. Use all your years of no, for real.
stay where you
I hear you.
I don't have time for you to be a butterfly.
Yeah, stay where you at.
Huh.
You need to be a caterpillar, cocoon if you have to, until we need you, type shit.
What do you guys think about that? I'm not sure how I feel about that. On one hand, I do understand, Melo, like, are we asking too much of Muel Bridges to be that guy and be a bona fide shot creator? On the other hand, I'm like, yeah, he has to be. Who else is you need shot creation talent on this team? And the thing is that he showed it in that first year with Brooklyn. Who was the coach that year? Jacques Vaughn? So somebody called Jacques Vaughn and asked him, how did you unlock Muel Bridges that half a season when he got to you in Brooklyn? Because he went from, in that half year, let me pull this up for everybody to see here. He went from, if you look at his assist rate, his assisted on, which is his assisted rate, all makes, how often a player assisted on all their made shots. That half season in Phoenix, he went from 71%, the team making plays for him, to Brooklyn, 55%, damn near half. With the Knicks, 76%. And that half season of Brooklyn was one of the most efficient seasons we've ever seen. So I'm not so sure it's not there The question is, how do we get it out of him? I think, is it the coach? Is it Jaylen? What is necessary here to get that version of Muel Bridges? I'm not saying he needs to score at an all-star, superstar level, but I think the potential is still there. That season, and as I said, he was scoring on his own 50% of the time. Shot 38% from 3. 42 from the corner 3. 48% from all mid-range. 50 from the long mid. 47 from the short mid at a 54% effective field goal percentage. Jose says the system. Billy R says has to be the coach. Finest says he changed his shot. Otto says it's because they ran every play for him in Brooklyn. So that's what I'm saying. Is there a middle ground here? I'm not expecting him to necessarily be Pascal Siakam, but we need a little bit more. Everyone looks good featured. Well, feature him, Otto. I don't think this team has a choice. If you're going to extend him, which I think he's still going to get extended, and we'll have another show on that. If you're going to extend him, you got to feature him a little bit more. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's an interesting debate. Here we go. 7 p.m. from Brooklyn. Here we go.
No bullshit. Just be a professional at it.
All right. So let me ask y'all this, right? He's extension eligible this year.
Extend him.
He's one
I
of the.
love it how they play together.
Bro, we don't need much. What the fuck?
You know,
Yeah, family show. By the way, it is a family show. They went in on this show. But Melo's going in, man. You can tell he's a passionate Knicks fan like all of us. Here we go.
I'm going,
Knicks
right?
I'm sick of this shit.
There's all
Because
this
the Knicks
Giannis
don't
talk,
need
this
all
KD
this.
talk.
Oh, we need this and we need that.
If KD or Giannis
Bro,
come over
man.
here, if it happened for him, cool. Jaylen Brunson this summer need to go really look at that film
Yeah.
and say, I could definitely do it with 12 less dribbles every play.
Nah, man. Listen, he could if he got a nigga alongside him who can take that pressure off. Muel is not taking the pressure off. OG is not taking the pressure off. Cat will take the pressure because he's a shooter, but he's taking the
Jaylen,
pressure off a bit.
I'll help you out. Look,
We're
you know that,
missing-
Run a pistol action, Jaylen.
Nah,
That's all you do.
they run all of that shit.
No, listen,
Don't
run.
No, they do run a pistol action. But is Carmelo right on that sense? Do we have a guy that can truly take the pressure off of Jaylen Brunson? Right now, the guy has to be Karl Anthony Towns. And then at a tertiary level, it's Muel Bridges. I rock with the dog. I rock with OG, but he's still a guy that you're going to have to set up 9 times out of 10. Yes, he can use his physicality and you know, go to the hole like a bull. And he has a little bit of that in his bag. He'll show you that a little bit. I'm talking about a guy that you can go to night in, night out and know what you're going to get. Cat, Muel. These are your guys. Omar says, no, we don't. Then we in trouble. But Melo says, hey, we were 2 games away from the chip. We don't need that much. But then he says we need a guy to take pressure off Brunson. So then what is it? Do we have enough here or do we still need more? William Bowman, welcome to the franchise channel members. Interesting debate. William Bowman, salute to you. All right, here we go. Couple more. Are you guys still with me? Do we still have an audience? We rocking on the lunchtime grind. How many people we got in the chat? 1,300 with me on the chat. Salute. Okay, here goes some more. Here we go.
They running the same play. The Knicks don't need none. All that Jaylen Brunson got to do shit. Jaylen Brunson ain't changing his game, bro.
I don't want him to change his game.
Hold up, though, champ. Hold up. He need another nigga alongside him that can take the pressure off him.
nigga.
Okay.
Who?
Why it's always got to be
Take what
another
pressure
nigga?
off? Is it scoring pressure? Is it handling the ball, running the
Because
team?
it have to be another nigga
star.
to
What is
handle the
it?
ball, you
Because-
saying?
Yeah, Jaylen Brunson always thrive when he got another nigga alongside him.
Of course.
That's what I said before. I said then get a point guard. If you want him to stay like that, he can stay like that.
It's not about a point guard.
That is.
Nah, he's a point guard. What the fuck are we talking about?
You say he needs
is a
somebody to
point
take the
guard.
pressure
Y'all
off
niggas
him.
bugging. He's a
Giannis
point
doesn't
guard.
take the
He
pressure
is
off
a
him.
scoring point, dog.
But he's a point guard though. Like
Bro,
he's a
but
real
listen,
true.
this is
He's
why I
a
say
real
this.
true point.
Let's
He got to
just
score
compare
for the
We're
Knicks.
saying that like
Let's
Brunson
compare-
averaged like 2 assists a game. He got like
Bro,
almost
he's
close
a
to
real
8.
point guard.
Yeah,
What the fuck? He's a
listen
true point guard
Yeah, listen
that the Knicks need to
listen
score.
up.
If he
He's-
don't score 40, the Knicks ain't winning.
I get it, and I love that to death.
No,
I
but
want-
that don't get you nowhere. Is what
all
I'm
I'm saying is throughout the game, somebody
Who?
has to be looking out for these other niggas getting
Who,
off.
bro? Who?
That's what I
Who?
said. Either it's got to be Jaylen.
We're not speed fooling these. We're not spoon feeding
But I'm
these
saying
niggas.
you don't need. This is what I don't like about the Nick conversations. It's always you need a new nigga, another nigga.
I said we
Somebody
do.
gotta-
What
Is
you
it
mean? We
strategy
do
or
need one. What
philosophy,
you
though?
talking about?
Gang,
We need
is it
one.
strategy or philosophy?
Every year,
No,
the
we don't need a
progression
star.
of player.
We need a new. We need
Every
a star.
year, the
man.
progression of player has to go up. They
Right.
have to see how they lost.
I'm not saying go
and
get a
add something to-
superstar. I'm not
Well,
saying that. He need somebody else who can relieve that as a guard. Another guard who can relieve that shit the way
Oh,
that
like coming off the
the
bench.
way that Halliburton got Nembhard.
Okay.
He need a Nembhard on his team.
That's hard to
cool.
find.
He need
Nembhard is
he
not
need
a
a reserve.
Nembhard. Get what,
I hear what
he's
you're
not
saying.
the
I get what you're
same
saying.
type of player.
You know he need a pass first point guard.
Muel Bridges is not a Nembhard type of guard. OG
right, so-
is not a Nembhard type of nigga.
So can I interest you in like a Kobe White type player?
when
like somebody who
when
would create a little
Halliburton
bit.
is don't have it
Like
going
Kobe
on.
White would kind of fit that mold.
Drew Holiday.
Absolutely.
Drew Holiday would. You know what I mean? But Drew's a little less. He takes.
Bro, I heard this already because I went through it to take the notes. Hearing this again, I'm still cracking up. Melo had me rolling in this one. And Ototo 7 hit the nail on the head. First of all, who won that exchange between Melo and Shump? Because Ototo in the chat says Melo's looking at it from the Melo perspective. And that's how I heard it coming out. Melo said, we don't need nobody to spoon feed these dudes. That's because that's how Melo was. Give me the rock, and I'm scoring. That's my job. And get out the way. Shump is taking it from a guy who won a chip. He's looking at it because LeBron James got him activated. You need somebody to gather it up. And look, Melo's one of my favorite player of all time. There he is right there, right behind me. The picture of Melo right behind me next to John Starks and Dunk. That's my guy. I think Shump, I'm leaning towards Shump because this is all we have right now. It's Cap, you're the point guard, you're the captain. He bears the responsibility of getting these guys together along with the coach, yes, but as a player on the court, Cap has to get these guys activated. So Shump is looking at it like, this is what we need to get to a championship level. Melo's like, nah, get me Jason Kidd or somebody else in here because I got to just go score. He said Nembhard. Yo, this show was great, man. This exchange was great. Where I agree with Melo for sure is that, like we said opening up the show, we got to figure out the two-guard situation, man. We do need another playmaking athletic two that can take the pressure off of Brunson. I don't know how they're going to get that, to be completely honest with you. I don't know. But Melo is right to that extent. George Jones said we need a Nembhard. But he is right, though. You know, you look at how Indiana utilizes Nembhard with Halliburton, McConnell, like they have multiple ball handlers, multiple playmakers, multiple shot creators, where if Halliburton, look at last night, prime example, Halliburton wasn't even on fire like that. But McConnell was roasting. Nembhard had his moments. The Siakam had his moments. So he is right in that regard. And we're going to do the NBA report. We'll do our Game 6 recap with Dexter Henry later on today around 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys tap into that. My man said Nembard. All right, where else are we here? There's a couple more here. If we still, are you still with me? Are you still with me in the chat, man? A couple more here. Salute to everybody in the chat. We'll get to some calls in a bit. Here we go.
I totally get the progression of the team. You know what I'm saying? But as Jaylen Brunson and Cat look at the film this summer, I need them to understand that even with all of what we said, you still could have won. You still should have
Of course. Of course.
Still should have won. That's what was wild about it. Y'all from behind, pause. Y'all, it's a lot of shit against y'all that y'all might have fucked up, and you still should have won. Like, that's what everybody looking at. They like, we still should have won.
And then you say, why should we have won?
And this is why I say, and this is why I was saying what I said back then when I said it's not dangerous enough yet. Because it's what Melo said. They not doing that yet, where it's like, hey, bro, we done ran this 3-4 times. We running what Tibbs say or whatever the new coach is going to be. We running what they saying. But you know at the end of the play, it's going to be me and you. All bets off. What do you want?
Because Tibbs don't trust it in the stretch.
Without a doubt.
He don't trust it. So you know what I'm going to down this stretch?
Number 11.
Who I'm loyal, what I'm loyal to. And I'm loyal to, I know what I'm getting from this.
That's why
I know what I'm getting from this. That's why it's not no emphasis on.
You cool with the fire.
I'm cool with the fire. Right. That's why there's no emphasis on what Cat said.
And there's no disrespect to Tibbs.
There's no disrespect to Tibbs. That's just his style. I'm going with what I'm loyal to do. If this right here is not giving me what I need in this moment, I'm resorting. Go ahead. You take me home.
Who the guy, Seven?
JB's the guy.
No, I mean the coach.
Again, that's what they're talking about. Can they level up as an all-star, all-NBA tandem to take over these games in crunch time? They should, man. It just was not there. And as they said, even with all the flaws, they should have been the one that's in the finals. These are the pains. These are the growing pains. These are the lessons learned that they're going to have to endure. They should have been in the finals. Chris Dada in the chat says, I've been telling y'all, go get Zach LaVine. I'm kind of coming around to that. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm kind of coming around to that, man. I mean, defensively, they'll be even worse, but damn. I don't know how they afford it. But, yeah. What do you guys think, man? I thought that was a great exchange, man. Jose, we need to get Shump or Melo on the show. Yeah, we're working on it, man. We're definitely working on it. For sure. Deuce can be better than Nembhard. I don't know. I don't see that. I think Nembhard's a really good player. Deuce is good, but Nembhard's a really good player. All right, so that was that exchange. And then one more I wanted to get to. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. CP in the building. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. Hope you guys got your weekend plans lined up. Some of you guys might just be taking it easy, slow motion. Hey, whatever you're into, man. Okay. All right. This is last segment here that I wanted to get to. Here we go. I'll get to your calls after that. Here we go.
Good. I'm going to tell you who's a good person for Cat
On my
to
soul.
watch.
Who?
His big homie,
KG.
Al Horford.
Oh, Al Horford.
On soul.
Wow, yeah.
Also,
Like, when you talk about adding, again, it goes back to spin the block on IQ now. When it comes to IQ of the game, you should be looking at certain aspects of people's game and trying to implement it into your game, because right now, most people, the whole league know your game.
Yep.
Like, what are you going to come back with that's better, right, and add it on to your game? We done seen you add on the three. We done seen you raise your, extend
and when he
your,
say
extend
add
your
on,
distance.
he mean like every game we're gonna see this.
Yeah, add on, just in addition to your
But I'm
game.
saying people be thinking like you adding on to your bag, like got that, but we don't never see the shit.
not
It's like,
effective.
nah,
Yeah.
like every game you're gonna see this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You're gonna deal with this. That's when you say somebody added that, like you come back the next year and Melo might be just it's overly 2 dribble pull-ups now. It's like, what the fuck? Why? What's with the obsession with? You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Like, he done figured out. Yeah, he done figured out. Y'all sitting so hard on the 1 dribble pull-up that I'm gonna throw a little in there. And now you just your timing fucked up. Now y'all got to get used to that, and I can get to my 1 dribble pull-up.
There you go.
Because that's what I really wanted.
There you go.
But it's like that's
it's like counterpunching. It's like once you figure out the one joint.
That's the IQ part of the game that.
Honestly, I never thought of a guy like Al Horford for that, but he is a great
because Al Horford does the same thing. But what Al Horford does, he know when to do it. He know when to trail. He know when to trail on the wing.
And
he know when to get corner. He understands spacing. He know when to duck in. You can't switch on Al Horford. He may not be the most athletic guy. You cannot switch on Al Horford because he would make you pay on that.
He's gonna hit that shot every time.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not asking you to come back and just be this crazy player, added 16 different levels to your game. I'm saying be smarter about what you starting to learn to add to your game.
And that's all I meant for Jaylen Brunson.
No, indeed. Timing.
He don't need to do nothing. Boy, you got it. You have it.
All right, so let me.
You gotta know when to go duck in, when to. I know he got to establish switches. This is what kills me. He got to establish switches
defensively.
No, if a nigga switch on him and he don't punish the little guy on him.
Oh yeah,
that's where Al Horford would punish you down there.
But that's also them. Y'all gotta throw that in there. It was a couple times they was like, it was taking too long. It's
because he don't want to get down there is what I'm trying to say.
But even if he had 17 feet, it's like soon as you see the little nigga just biting at his ankles. I want to throw it to you at 17
feet, bro. Nah, hell no.
Hey, you go dog walk him if you want. He too little.
That's too much energy is what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying. Efficiency.
Efficiency. Right. Now let's get to angles and efficiency.
Yeah, walking
knowing when to pop, block, knowing when to go.
Yeah. Right? All right, so just to put the button on the combo. Put the button on the.
All right. I thought that was a great example. Again, the IQ. This is Melo talking here. Not me, not you, not anybody else. This is Melo talking here. But this is always the question that I've had with Karl Anthony Towns. It's not a knock on him. Very talented player. Best big man shooter. We could give him all of that, or the All-Stars, everything. Had an overall good year. He had a great year for the Knicks. We're talking about getting to the next level. The next level. And Melo's talking about all these things. You know, you have these guys talking about, oh, well, you know, when the wings are getting switched out on Karl Anthony Towns, they've got the lower center of gravity, so it's harder to back them down. I'm not going for that. Destroy the switches, destroy the mismatches. But it's also, like Melo said, does he want to do that? Does he want to put in that work? It takes a physical toll on you. You know, I'm not going to sit there and just be like, oh, man, I'm sitting from my couch. Like, man, you got to be bodying these guys. It takes work. It's hard work. But Melo talked about it many times on this show. IQ. That is what is going to take these guys to championship caliber level. The gods have it. We'll see, man. We shall see. But, you know, with all that he mentioned with Al Horford, could the Knicks be potentially seeing this and make a run at Al Horford in the offseason if the Celtics choose not to re-sign him? What do you guys think? Would the Knicks even be an option for a guy like Al Horford? Is it Boston or bust? You know, Boston or retirement? Or does he come through, join his countrymen? I believe Al Horford is a CAA guy, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, who's Al Horford's agent? Real GM says... Oh, Glushan, Jason Glushan. That's Glushan Sports. All right, so not CAA, but not a deal breaker. So, yeah, very interesting. I thought this was a great episode by Melo and Shump. Great exchanges. You guys let me know your thoughts. Juju Rose, $10 Super Chat, says, Pacers are 1 win away from the chip. Maybe we are closer than we think. Maybe the coaching change takes us to the next level. It's a minor bench tweaks, takes us over the top. That's the hope. That's the goal right now. You know, I think everybody sees it that way. A lot of people would agree with you, yeah. Let's get to the phones. Dan from New Jersey. Dan, how you doing?
Que lo que, wah.
Yeah, we here, man. How you doing, man?
I'm well, CP. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful Friday afternoon. I think these NBA finals are really cluing us into how important it's not just about roster construction in this league anymore. It's also about, what lineups you're putting out there, what schemes and everything. Because, I haven't been tuning into the finals too much, but what I'm seeing in these games is Rick Carlisle is finding ways of getting Obi Toppin activated, even though he plays behind Pascal Siakam, who is a very important part of what they do offensively. But he's still finding ways of getting Obi activated and getting him to be an X factor. We weren't really able to do that with Tibbs here back when he was playing behind Randall. And, a lot of us said, myself included, oh, you probably can't, have Obi thrive here because, Randall's here. It's just not going to work out. But just seeing, that difference in leadership and coaching and strategy, I believe that that players do play, at the end of the day. But the player's going to play the way the system dictates them to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that leads me to, talking about our next head coach. Is this really how we're supposed to get to the next level? Me, I'm a Johnny B guy. We haven't heard about Johnny B getting an interview, unfortunately. But listen, man, I like Taylor Jenkins. I would love to have Taylor Jenkins on the squad. Taylor Jenkins, from what I see, is a dynamic coach, a coach that's willing to use all of the tools in the shed. So, I'm excited to see if he gets the job.
Yeah, look, we're going to have to see what it is as I open the show with. We'll see what's up with the kid situation. Does he get the extension with Dallas? Are the Knicks still in play there? I did hear that Taylor Jenkins interview did go well with the Knicks. Right now, he has the edge over Mike Brown. More interviews coming next week. But for sure, look, the Pacers system, their multiple ball handlers, has allowed Obi to play better and be a better player. I think it's as simple as that. Even when he was with the Knicks and he was running with that second unit with IQ and them, there was a noticeable change in pace with that second unit because they played faster. With JB, you're not going to play as fast. Will this next coach emphasize that? I think the Knicks do need to play faster. So we'll have to see, But I'm with you. Like, we're going to have to see what this next system does to open these guys up. Are we going to have true 5-out spacing? Are they going to play faster? Who are they going to bring in on the bench? What tweaks are they going to make? We're going to have to see. Maybe it's Taylor Jenkins, We do know that he's a guy that's going to go deep into the bench. Is he going to emphasize player development? Where the Knicks are right now with the second apron? All options have to be on the table. I appreciate the call, man. Dan from New Jersey. Let's go to Christopher Blake. Christopher Blake, how you feeling? Christopher Blake. Do we have Christopher Blake?
CP, salute. I pressed mute on the button twice by accident. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear. How you feeling?
Yeah, Bridget, I'm good, man. I'm here. I'm just listening, soaking it in, I'm a student of this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't just study the Knicks. After we lost, I went and I really digged into the Pacers to kind of figure out, like, what is so different than what we do versus what they do? Because it wasn't talent. And I started listening to some interviews with Halliburton. And he came across and said, Carlisle came to him and said, I don't want to call any offensive plays. I just want to give you the ball and let you go. Right? Compare that to Brunson, who probably got the same type of leash, but it really is upstairs. That's the difference. Halliburton is okay with probably getting 14 points and even 4 points and dishing out those assists and getting his teammates activated. And, one of the things that clicked to me when we said, why did we have such a hard time getting Obi activated when he was with the Knicks versus with the Pacers? Well, the Pacers play fast because they have a point guard who can handle that. And then they have a secondary backup ball handler that can handle that. You don't really have that, bro. We tried to, pigeonhole Josh into that role.
You need more playmaking. We need more playmaking and ball handling.
And this is what goes back to when we got Bridges. Now, I respect Bridges. He got 50% from the field. He had an excellent year.
Yeah.
If you go back to my suggestion for the offseason, I really thought we needed the DeJounte Murray. That was my guy. That was my pick, right? I came up with a bunch of, I think we had a call showing, hit him with trade scenarios. Like, we need, he defends the 2 guard. He's an on-ball defender. He's a point of attack defender. He's a playmaker. I think that's more the archetype that we needed at that two spot. Because really and truly, I just don't think Bridges, I gotta push back on he didn't know. They know their roles, bro. But Bridges, the role that you did in the Suns, but that got your team to the finals, that's the role you had. OG, same thing. You know your roles. You just don't want to accept that role. You want to be the scorer. You want to be the man. You want to be the guy that gets the $40 million contract.
Yeah.
You don't want to accept your role. And I think there's going to be some friction there because from reports I'm hearing, I soak in my Knicks content. He wants the same deal as OG. And it's hard for me to say he doesn't deserve it. Bro, go out there and get paid. I get it. You don't owe us anything. We just brought you over here. We traded for you. You didn't sign here. This was not your decision.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to come back to bite us a little bit because I have a key thing. All right, this is my last point.
Yeah.
How many times did we say that the vibes were immaculate last season? I didn't catch that immaculate vibe, bro. We brought in a bunch of mercenaries that really wanted to look out for themselves and get paid, which in their point of the career, they deserve that. But I think we got so far away from what brought us to dance that it's going to be tough for the next coach, bro. And I think we're going to have to go into next season expecting growing pains. It's not going to happen right off the bat because A, you got to learn a whole new offensive system if a coach brings that. B, you got to learn a whole new defensive system. And I still think there needs to be development from the players to even get it. And Bridges and OG need to become better ball handlers to be able to take pressure off Brunson. We have a team that has to just be better players. Pat has to be able to buy into defensive philosophy. He has to be a better defender. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we're going to continue with this team A needs to gel. They need to come together, but they have to realize that they're not perfect, and they won't be perfect together until they improve individually so they can be a better unit. I think that's all I got to say.
There you go, man. Appreciate the call, Christopher Blake. Rate that call in the chat, man. Rate that call in the chat. What do you guys think, Christopher Blake? Black Messiah, go ahead and unmute your mic. Black Messiah.
Hey, how we doing, Knicks family?
Good, man. How you doing, man? What's your name? Where you calling it from?
Calling it from Australia.
Australia.
Yeah. So you already know. Watching this team this season in the playoffs, to kind of piggyback off what I forgot his name.
Yeah, Christopher Blake.
Daniels was saying. Christopher Blake against the Pacers, and how we can't play fast.
Did we lose him?
And I don't believe that with Brunson we can't play fast. It's just if he's the only one setting the offense, then he can't run around all game. And I've really looked at the team, the squad, and it's man, the cap situation is gonna be hard to acquire another ball handler. But having a TJ McConnell type player would kind of be perfect. Kind of helping a second unit or something.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is also one of my problems with Tibbs is because we have our own that we selected in the draft last year in Tyler Kolek. But
I was going to ask you how you feel about Kolek.
I like Kolek, but we barely saw him, barely at all. We had the regular season to trial him out, give him a consistent 10 to 15 or something, or just something. But we didn't get to see that, so. Going forward, and I think Tibbs firing was justified and is the right decision because this squad is definitely good enough to get to the finals and compete.
Okay.
I believe. Look at the Pacers, how they're doing. So I think it's we should empower OG and more Mikhail a bit to handle the ball a bit more, not too much because it's not really their games, but we got to see what some of these young players we got can do. I don't know what Dadier is really going to provide next year. We saw barely any, even less of him. We have to see what Curler can do, and we got to go jump in the garbage bin or the bargain bin to see who can handle the ball, who could give Jaylen some respite. But looking at trade decisions, I'm looking at the squad. We're like $1 million under the first apron next year, and the only real trade pieces I'm seeing is Josh Hart at 19 mil and Mitchell Robinson at his 12.9. I'm thinking maybe a Josh Hart, bring back Dante DiVincenzo because he was great in that role the year prior.
Okay.
Especially in the playoffs.
Appreciate the call, man.
So that's
appreciate
what I could say, man.
Yeah, appreciate the call,
Love
man. Big up to you for calling in
KFTV.
from Australia, man. Appreciate you, man.
Got you. Peace.
All right, rate that call in the chat, man. My guy checking in from Australia. What do you guys think? I don't think Minnesota's going for the Josh Hart thing. They love Dante. What's his name? Ant-Man was very complimentary of Dante DiVincenzo this year, so I don't think they go for the Josh Hart swap. It's kind of 2K tradey, but I hear you though. I hear you, man. Hey, as you guys see up here, man, if you guys want to donate to the show, some of you guys have been leaving super chats. We appreciate that. But you can also hit us up on Cash App, $KnicksFanTV. And if you guys have not signed up for Cash App as yet, hey, Cash App is a money transfer platform. It is easy to use. It is safe to use. Number one, they have a number of checks and balances to make sure that the intended recipient of your transfer is that person and that the money gets to them. You can use Cash App on your phone. You can use it on the desktop as well. And for new Cash App users, if you've never used it before, sign up today using our code KnicksFanTV in your profile, and if you send $5 to a friend, you get $10 back. It's just that simple with our friends at Cash App. So hey, if you want to donate to the show, you can send us the $5. They will give you your money back and then some. So it's a great way to use the app. Limited time only. These are for new Cash App users. And like I said, you can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. Terms apply, but that's money, and that's Cash App. So to our guys at Cash App for sponsoring today's show. All right, Knicks Fix, go ahead and then close us out. Knicks Fix.
CP, what up, bro?
How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? I'm gonna keep it rapid fire because I know you've been on for a minute.
Yeah.
So just 3 quick questions I have for you, man. I've been wondering about this. The first question I had is, I've been hearing a lot of chatter about, as you touched on earlier, like Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know if he really, if we get that dude, then McHale goes out in any trade, and then that doesn't make sense. For me, it's like, you help out Cat, but then you don't help out Brunson on the wings. So have you heard anything about that? Because I don't really want to trade McHale, man.
Nah, I haven't heard anything about Jaren Jackson Jr. I think prototype-wise, it'd be a good addition if he didn't have to lose so much. And, how much the one thing about him that's not so great is his rebounding. He's not that tough as a rebounder, but I think as a 5, he'd be great in terms of his scoring ability and his shot blocking, his defense, things of that nature. But I think Memphis will stand to keep him at this moment. But, hey, you never know. I haven't heard anything, though, on the Triple J front.
Right, because I don't think they would make that trade for McHale, especially since they got the KCP contract now. So
right.
But all right. So the second question I had, man, was if you want to get say like a Horford or somebody on the market for the offseason, is it the TPE or is it the veterans mint that triggers the second apron?
The TPE. The TPE at $5.7 million, but it doesn't have to be the whole thing according to Bobby Marks. Even if you dip into that. And you try to sign a guy, you're going to hit the second apron. So it's going to be, it's not to say that they won't, but it will be very interesting to see if they do that this offseason and for those type of players. But what Bobby Marks was saying was that based on his veteran status, Al Horford being in the league at over 10 plus years, his vet minimum value is around $3.5 million anyway. So the hope is that you could entice him to take that vet minimum, take a little bit less, so that you're not risking triggering that second apron.
Okay, makes sense. All right, and the last question, man, is my guy. I'm rooting for Johnny B. Any news on that?
Haven't heard. Have not heard. All I've heard as of recent is that Jenkins and Brown came in this week. More interviews to come next week. And hopefully, hey, we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully by maybe Tuesday or so, because the draft is Wednesday. So I don't know if they're going to have a coach in time for the draft, but hopefully by next week we'll have a word on who's going to be the next coach.
Right, because the last time we, for Tibbs, I think it took like 6 or 7 weeks before we hired somebody.
Yeah. So, yep.
But yeah, man. Last quick thing. I see we picked up the contract on Naji.
Yeah.
So that's maybe. I mean, he looks explosive. Rim protector. I don't know. Maybe they groom him to become like a Mitch type, but we'll see, man. Anyway, stay up, CP.
Appreciate you, man. James Naji gets picked up. I got the KD highlights. We don't want that. Where's my James Naji highlights at, man? I just had it up, didn't I? Or maybe I didn't. Okay, we'll put up a little James Naji joint. They didn't sign him to a deal, but he's starting at Summer League to see if he can crack the squad. So we'll see what's up with James Naji as we open up the show. 6'11", shot blocking talent, played in the Spanish League, played for FC Barcelona, was drafted by the Hornets, and the Knicks acquired him in the Karl Anthony Towns trade. All right, so there's James Naji. We'll see if he can earn that contract. But for a lucky winner, a lucky franchise channel member, actually, today's your chance to earn. We did had a good worst take segment. Today's your chance to earn some worst take merch. And we got them in all sizes, from small all the way up to 5X. And here you go. You got worst take on the front and for the fans, by the fans on the back. All available at the KnicksFanTV store. You can get yours at KnicksFanTV.com. All right, so as we know, let me filter the chat here. I'm going to filter the chat, and we're just going to keep it locked with our franchise channel members to see who's going to go home with it if you answer today's trivia question. I don't have TM here to filter the chat, so give me a second here while I get to it. Okay. All right, so the chat will be filtered to members only. We'll put the slow-mo mode on. And here we go. So my franchise channel members, don't put nothing else in the chat. You better stand by, because you got to answer today's trivia question. Today marks the 6th year anniversary of the Knicks drafting a particular player in the 2019 NBA draft. Name the player. Worst take tease, man. I got mine on right now. You know what I'm saying? Who did the Knicks draft in the 2019 draft, June 20th? This should be an easy one. I should be seeing names flying in the chat right now. Know your history? Do you know your history or not? Okay. All right. We can end it now. We can end it. Let me turn down my triumphant theme music. The answer is R.J. Star J. Barrett. Ladies and gentlemen, R.J. Barrett. Knicks drafted R.J. Barrett today on 2019, the 2019 NBA draft. The Knicks drafted our boy Star J, man. We had high hopes for him. I gave him the nickname Broadway Barrett. Yeah, that was the nickname I gave him. That was my guy. Big up to him. All right, let's see who won, though, because a lot of you did put RJ in there. Let me see. Let me log into my Nightbot dashboard. Who we got here? Is it commands? No, it's logs. Okay, here we go. Log. All right, let's see who got it in first. Somebody said Frankie. Y'all miss Frank, don't you? Okay, the winner is Coach Mike. Coach Mike. Where is he, man? Coach Mike. Congratulations to Coach Mike, who got it in first. Coach Mike Clark, congratulations to you, man. So, Coach Mike, email us at kftvmedia@gmail.com with proof of a YouTube name. And let us know your size, what size you need in your worst take t-shirt. Congratulations to Coach Mike. All right, man. Salute to you guys, man. I got to reset. We'll be back for the NBA report. We'll be talking about Game 6 of the NBA Finals. We'll have our guy Dexter Henry joining us. We'll probably do that at 4 because I gotta eat some lunch and reset a little bit. Congratulations to Coach Mike. Email us, man, to get your t-shirt. We'll send that out to you tomorrow, no problem. For those of you at home, like, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Enjoy the weekend, but as you know, if anything happens between now and then on the Knicks coaching search, we will let you know, man. But hey, as the world turns, as the world burns. Appreciate you guys tapping in with us, all right? Peace.